Good morning. Good morning. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Murdoch, and it is my joy to serve as the president of the Southwest region of the American Choral Directors Association. I'm excited to welcome you to our first full day of the conference, kicking off with our graduate conducting and masterclass. And so before we do anything else, I want to honor our demonstration choir of the day and their fabulous conductor, Dr. Elizabeth Swanson from the University of Colorado Boulder. We are live streaming this. Feel free to take pictures. Please avoid flash photography if you can, so we don't want to blind any of the singers or the conductors or the clinician today. It is also my pleasure today to introduce you to our coordinator for the conducting master classes, Dr. Tor Robertson from Tarleton State University.
Good afternoon again. Welcome. My name is Tor Robertson. I'm the Director of Choirs at Tarleton State University in Stephenville, Texas. And it's my pleasure to introduce our choir, clinician, and conductors for the 2024 Southwest ACDA Graduate Conducting Masterclass. First, I'd like to ask our conductors to stand. They're just going to appear. Please hold your applause until all have been announced. Conductors, please wave as your name is called. We have Franco Vasili from the University of Houston, Younglu Lee from the University of Northern Colorado, Jacob Oxton from the University of North Texas, Leah Wyman from the University of Missouri, Kansas City, and Cody Bisley from Oklahoma State University. Let's give them a round of applause. Dr. MacMullen serves as the Mary Gibbs Jones Chair of Music and Director of Choral Activities at Baylor University. She conducts the Baylor A Cappella Choir and Chamber Singers and leads the graduate program in choral conducting. Prior to her appointment at BU, Dr. MacMullen earned the Sir William Osler Award at Ohio State University and the President's Special Recognition Award at the University of North Texas. An active adjudicator and clinician, Dr. MacMullen has conducted all-state and honor choirs throughout the U.S. She earned both her BME and MN degrees from Michigan State University and her DMA at Texas Tech University. She sings with the professional ensemble Mirabai. Let's give her a round of applause. Our singers today are members of the University of Colorado Boulder Choir, conducted by Dr. Elizabeth Swanson. Dr. Swanson is the Associate Director of Choral Activities at the University of Colorado Boulder, where she serves as conductor of the CU Treble Chorus and the University Choir, which was founded in 1938 by Warner Emick, former Dean of the CU College of Music. The University Choir includes undergraduate students from all majors from across the university and most recently performed at our CMEA conference last year. A passionate educator, Swanson teaches courses in conducting and serves on graduate committees. Her upcoming engagements include conducting a national festival chorus at Carnegie Hall this spring, as well as residencies at universities in Minneapolis and Chicago. She is Associate Conductor of Ars Nova Singers, a Boulder-based professional choir, and serves as ACDA National as co-chair of some activities. Her degrees are from St. Olaf College, Ithaca College, and Northwestern University. Let's welcome Dr. Swanson and the
person. Bravo to you, my friend. Before we dive into some detail, I'm wondering if you can give a little bit of feedback. So what about Franco's conducting was inspiring to you? Yeah. Yes, rarely looking at the score, I agree. Franco was absolutely, you were present in the moments. Very powerful, especially when you're dancing with someone for the first time, right? Which can feel, yeah. Yes, yeah. Yeah, there's clarity, especially when there are questions that we must face with elisions of idea in the score. There are a lot of scenes in this excerpt, or this work, and that's where we make our money, on the scenes. Yeah. Yes. One more, yes, in the back, yeah.
I like the facial expressions because they reflect the words like action.
Yeah, so this psalm is no joke, right? The expression of the psalmist here, there's certainly an extreme of emotions. Let's start, as we discussed, with technical things. So first of all, I agree. I thought that there was great clarity with many ideas, and I thought that you demonstrated some beautiful shift of affect. The distinction between the veracity of that tenor bass line, and then the infusion of heaven when the sopranos and altos come in, right? For you, I'm wondering if there's a place where you felt the least connected to the delineation of time. So when did you feel like you weren't, there was one place in particular where I felt like we weren't totally together. Any ideas?
That wasn't like that.
The alignment, so it wasn't, I thought it wasn't as clear, yeah.
Okay.
Any ideas?
I think when I turned to, I put behind the beginning before, so it's going to be
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I didn't think that. That was good. For me, it's when we get to the 3/8 and how the 3/8 unfolds. That's when I felt a little bit of, if we have conductor and ensemble and a rubber band between the two, sometimes that rubber band stretches. I'm wondering if we can go to the 3/8 and just to see if we're a little bit aligned. Did anybody sense that just a bit in the 3/8? It just didn't feel absolutely together. Now, you alluded to moving around physically, right? Is that something you're working on?
Yes.
Okay. So what I would say is anything that we do in the body can be a diffusion of clarity, okay? So if the body is absolutely quiet, then what has to happen is there's a distillation, a strengthening of power with just the gesture. And so I'm wondering if you try to hold totally still when we get to the 3/8.
So like that.
Just all information has to come from the arms, okay?
Yeah.
Is it okay with you if I put my hand on it? Okay? Okay, good. So let's start right at the beginning of the 3/8. And in fact, I'm gonna make it really hard, Franco. Can you stand? And would you make sure that your head is nice and tall? And I'm gonna do this, okay? No ponytail. Oh man, we should have prepared better. Okay, let's start at the 3/8. Can we start right there? And your job is to stay connected to them and then to stay connected to this point, right here. Okay? No, I can tell. I'm glad. One thing that you can do when you don't have a very scary clinician standing right here in your business, you can stand with your back to the wall, and that's a way to sort of monitor it. What's happening in the treble voices right there? What are you hearing?
I hear like a lot of hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have a little bit more line.
More line? Yeah, good. Yeah, I think so. I also think that they need the breath unleashed a little bit. And so right now the gesture's sort of living with this as our plane.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what would happen if you hear that they're connected to the breath, which can manifest as pitch, adjust your gesture to give them some support. I'm going to come back and continue to help with this. But if you hear that they need more breath, then lower the gesture, okay? Because right now it's a little high. Okay, they're slowing down.
Yeah.
Do you want to slow down there?
I just want more like, more legato.
More legato.
Yeah.
I think conducting in one is one of the toughest things. What we're going to do is, if we want the thing to be more tenuto and more linear driven, then we're going to take the pattern, which would be like a one pattern, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're just going to orient it this way so that it's more of an ellipse. Does that make sense? And that can give you a little bit of latitude for press. If they slow down and that is not aligning with, I mean, it might be, but if they slow down, how do you, and you don't want it to slow down, how do you manage that? But what if they aren't looking at your eyes? What if they're looking at your hands?
Yeah. So I think that dynamic is the biggest issue. Yeah. When we go down, I think that becomes slower.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we want the thing to not slow down, what do we do with the gesture?
If you make it smaller.
Yeah! So slower equals a bigger gesture. Faster is a smaller gesture. All of these things, so we have to get the tenuto, but we cannot allow that to deter unless you want it to slow down. That's the thing. What if we start at the soprano alto? Actually, let's just start. Where would you like to start?
Maybe 61. Yeah.
Okay, let's do 61. Okay, let's do that much again, and let's try to change time in real time. I'd like for you to slow the thing down and then to speed it up, just so that you can feel them responding. Do you want to pick the same starting place, or do you want a different starting place?
Maybe we can do 57.
Let's do it, yeah. So they sort of taught us that's not our favorite starting place, so we listened to them. Starting at 57, okay. Excellent. Good, so much better. Do that again. I need a volunteer to help from the ensemble. A volunteer. Yes, if Franco starts mouthing the words to you, I want you to say, oopie, really loud. Really loud. Really, be merciless. Okay? Opie, come on, Opie! Franco, there you go. So when we long to hear something in the ensemble and don't hear it, it often manifests in the body in a way that we may not intend, and the way that we may not be aware of. Sometimes that's a toe tap. Sometimes that's, I'm not talking about with you, just these are sort of isms that go into being a conductor. Sometimes it's in the knee bend, right? Sometimes it's in the lead. We do all kinds of weird stuff. You are mouthing the words, right? That again diffuses the power of your gesture. Then you're teaching them how to treat you. You're teaching them, oh, we just watch his mouth, right? And then you render all of the elegant work that's happening here useless because they're looking here. Okay? So just be aware of that. When I was a very, very new conductor, I actually would put a little piece of tape right here because I was breaking that habit. Doesn't mean you have to torture yourself in these ways, but I did that because I needed to keep myself accountable, right? You can also enlist the help of these incredible musicians. Thank you so much for your contribution. Can we go, let's go now. So very good. So a couple of fly out lessons. Quiet the body and force yourself to work here, right? And don't, I mean, this is a powerful tool, and we want this to be your sharpest sword, not your face. Your face is important, no question, right? Okay, so we're, why don't we go back? You had mentioned this earlier in the beginning. I'm wondering if we can go, let's just go to the very opening gesture, right here. Can you differentiate for me the voice of the tenor basses and soprano and alto? How do you interpret that? What's the difference?
So one example is more grounded.
Good. Yes, good.
Yeah, just grounded. And the other should be like more floaty, heavy.
More floating. And I thought that you really did demonstrate that. How much rhythmic vigor is there to the tenor bass gesture? Like how vital is it? Or is it like, is it very much this way? Yeah, so I think that you can exploit, maximize that distinction, right? Let's try that, okay? And it's okay, conductors, everybody who's written this piece, because we have choices to make. This one lives at the edge of 2 and 4, doesn't it?
Yeah. I would try now the lead
in 2, great. And just let these beautiful collaborators know, I'm in 2 or I'm in 4. That's definitely a humane admission. Let's do, thank you. Keep it low, Franco, breathless here, right? So keep it low. Oh. Excellent, good. Now, this is the tool I use all the time because God made me kind of small, okay? You're much taller than I am. But I would say, for this opening, summon all strength that you have. Open the base of the feet just a little bit. Yes, oh, there we go. We want to feel this. This is the psalmist crying out to God. This is an expression of I'm in trouble, right? Feel as though the winds in the tumult is trying to blow you around, right? And knock you around, and you have to be firmly rooted. One more time, we go wider. There we go, Franco. Good. Okay.
Richte mich Gott und führe meine Sache wieder das unheilige Volk.
Go this way. Use the line. Yeah, do you feel the pitch doing this at the end? Yeah. So if you figure out how to tune an inverted triad, you'll be a very wealthy person, right? These things we know when we walk into inversions, we're walking into pitch problems. It has nothing to do with you. It's a challenge that the composer sets before us. When we know that, anticipate it and start the gesture. When you get to the start the gesture a little lower so that you can sympathetically do this. Just to anticipate that that's going to be a challenge. I love the power of the opening. Where's the peak of that? What am I? 1 minute. Okay, great, 1 minute. Thank you. I always feel bad for the timer. Thank you for doing that job. Franco, there is such power of intent in the person that you bring. and such rich musicianship. It's really fantastic. I just want to encourage you as you walk away and move forward in your conductor persona, know that the quieter the self, the more powerful the power of intent will become in the gesture. And it will force you to develop new language here, because you don't have, what's the word? Escape paths, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like crutch. Sure, that one works, but you won't have other ways out.
Yeah, it's just focus.
Yeah, to focus this. Yeah. Can we thank Franco for going first and reciprocating? Let's welcome Yanwu, everybody.
Richte mich Gott und führe meine Sache wieder das unheilige Wort. Denn du bist der Gott, du bist der Gott meiner Stärke, warum beschützest du mich? Warum hast du mich so teilen, wenn mein Freund gefällt? Sende dein dass ich hineingehe zum Altar Gottes, zu dem Gott. Dass ich hineingehe zum Altar Gottes, zu dem Gott. Der deine Freude und Wohle ist. Der meine Freude und Wohle ist. Und die Front auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott. Und die Front auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott. Und den Gott auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott. Den Gott auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott. Als begrüßt du dich meinen Seelen und bist so unnötig in mir.
love that you walk right up. Beautiful job. Let's hear what they have to say. Some feedback for young musicians. You can call on people.
I feel like just articulated, which helps me in process. Yeah, I feel like cutoffs and direct breathing, that's really clear what needs to be realized.
The amount of presence you brought to the stage when you walked up and started connecting us just made us all feel so absorbed in what you were.
Right, there is a great power when you walked up, and also clarity. So whenever we're working with an ensemble for the first time, we sometimes have to give a little more information, just because there are questions about releases. That's one of the biggest questions that's probably in your mind. Where do I release these things, especially when it aligns with an aspirate consonant, where it's evidenced if we're not aligned. So I think that they felt great comfort in your leadership. So well done. So at the end here, why don't we work backwards, okay? So let's take a look at this last page, the Allegro Moderato. How often is the harmony changing? Where's the harmonic rhythm on this last page in terms of the rate at which the chords are changing? Yeah, it's almost one measure, right? So that static nature of harmony implies a couple of things to us. We have to predicate or base our tempo on the rate at which those chords are changing. If we're not in a really reverberant space, then we want to move the thing a little bit further, become a little bit faster. And what do you sense about this room?
I think acoustic is perfect.
It's nice, and I think that they might enjoy going a little bit faster on this back page because of the vocal demand. And so what I would encourage you is to think about possibly conducting this last page in 2 and going just slightly faster. So we're responding to the reality of the moment. Okay, so can we start, please? Oh, so you have different pages than I. Actually, well, you have so many pages, musicians. Let's start at 73. Gott was. Yes, I think it's fine to start in 4 to set this tempo of 3 and. Then I think that you're going to get a little bit more pull from those fundamental chords that exist in the tenor bass, right? When we're conducting at the quarter note, it can sometimes be disruptive to the legato line. And I think this moment is, God, I trust you. Not, God, help me, God. Which you may be feeling fervently right now in this setting. I don't blame you for that, with all the people watching. However, there needs to be, in the conductor, there needs to be evidence of, I trust, even if we don't necessarily feel it. Since we make our money on the seams, why don't we go from 66? Is that okay? Go from that 3/8 going through the transition. Is that okay?
Pick up 66.
Yeah, pick up of 66. Can we start right there? And I'd love for you to play with 2 versus 4. If you sense that they need more motion in the sound, speed it up. That's totally legal. Okay? Okay. Okay, good. So you did exactly what I asked. Bravo to you for that. Bravo. There's nothing like someone saying, do this, do that, try this, do that, right? And you have to digest it all. Let's just talk about some mechanics here. So if we take, let's examine how many axes of motion that we have. So fulcrum, everybody in the choir, outstretch one hand with us. Let's find our first one. Everybody, uno, right? Here's due, this is 2. Elbow is 3. Shoulders 4, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if we're conducting Carmina Burana, we'll include this one as a fulcrum as well, okay? The softer the dynamic, the smaller the fulcrum. So if we're dealing with a forte, then it's absolutely appropriate to utilize from the shoulder. If we're working with a softer dynamic, we want to stabilize the upper fulcrum in favor of a smaller gesture. That makes sense? And when you're small people, which there's nothing small about you, my darling, right? Except for, right, the physical height, which I share, okay? But you're powerful. You have to be careful to not become too big too soon. Okay, so try to gauge, okay, I'm gonna work from my elbow here so that when I get to I can use the shoulder, and it's an arrival as opposed to just an extension of what's already happened. Start please at 73. Boom. I'd love for you to stick with 4. Stick with 4 until we get to, let's say, 77. Want to try that? So that we can get you could do it too. There. Okay. Okay, cool. Give it a shot. Watch. Hang on for 1 second. Watch. What do I do differently? I'm going to give you two examples. I'll try to share it so people can see. Here's the first example. Second example. What did I do differently?
Like, hook up.
The rebound was fast. Keep the descent and the ascent consistent. There's really, they need that. It's on Zela minus Sol, right? Isn't it? Whoops. You're very well. What are they saying? Zela, right? My soul. So they don't need Sol. They don't need that from you. Watch the rebound to make sure that it's in the same character. Try it one more time, okay? Starting there, 73 with 4, okay? Here's the slow rebound. Good for you. And 2. Here's another one. This way. Down. Sustain. Give them a sustain. Good. Hard alpha. Open the feet. Okay. With this, more. Oh, yes. There you are. Hey, this is our only option. Like for me, if I want to open the sound, and you can get away with it in a way that maybe Jacob Austin, who we'll see momentarily. Jacob, how tall are you? If Jacob does that, it means it's like he becomes like Spider-Man, okay? There you go, Jake. But for you can get away with a wider base, okay? And think about it this way. That's where the breath is inspired, okay? Cool. Starting, please, at Haare auf Gott, right there, please. Let's see if you can clean up those releases without me giving you any, it's not together. I can give you advice, or you can just try. What would you prefer? Do you want to just do the gesture? Do you want me to give you a suggestion? Yeah. Okay, so do we want a quarter note? So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. Just give them a little subdivision there at the end. You could also 1, 2, 3 with the left hand if you want, but that does need to be delineated. Inquiring minds want to know. Starting there, Haare of yeah. Do it again this time. Would you breathe in? Try it. Whoops. Watch. Let's do it this way. Do it this way again. There you go. The information that when they're deciding when to sing, there are 4 ingredients to every preparatory gesture. All right, 4 ingredients. You got this, everybody? How many? 4. Okay, everybody, here are the 4 ingredients. We have the departure ictus. My students in the room, you better be able to just tell me what these 4 are. I'm not going to quiz you right now, but I expect that you know this. Okay, there's a departure ictus, so it's the point of movement. That's ingredient number 1. What's ingredient number 1, everyone? Departure ictus. Good. Some of you are like, oh, ictus. Okay, that just means beat. Okay, then number 2 is the speed away from the plane. That's number 2. How fast. This is all information that they take in like a computer to determine the tempo. Then ingredient number 3 is the descent to the plane. Ingredient number 4 is the arrival ictus. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of the information within that they should have all of the information. Let's play a little bit with this. Okay, I'll give you only 1 beat. You go on. I'm going to show you 1 beat. Okay, here we go. No, don't sing. Just go like. Try it again. And pulse it. And one more time. That's all right. And I'm going to change it. Is it doing? Try it again. It's not exactly what I envisioned. Yeah. Think about articulation. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Again. And oh, I didn't make it down. And oh, you're learning. Pretty good. Yeah, so all of that information. Right now what's happening is you're getting to the plane. Ingredient number 2 is so fast that I think it's giving you an onset that might not be aligned with what you want instead. Does that make a difference there? Okay, so let's be mindful of ingredient number 2, that rebound. Try to make 2 and 3 a little bit more similar, okay? Oh! And a little more. Okay, one more time. Go on. Good for you, young. Keep going, keep going. Through the beats as opposed to the beats. Yeah, so, and that's a connection to the breath. Like if you really want to stay with the sound, I think that this has a little bit of resistance in it. So put your hand up for me. Just anyone. Okay, now push up against my hand. So you want to sort of imagine that. Feel it one more time? Yeah, good. Yeah, so you want to sort of create that sensation for them. Because there needs to be a little bit of weight. Good. So let's go back, please. This time, so can we go right to measure 21? How much time? 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Like I said, we're gonna wrap things up. Okay. So first of all, a couple of things to fly out. Number 1. You can get away with a more open stance, wider base, just to really create strength. And then as you're conducting things, conduct through the beat instead of just to it, and be mindful of that rebound There is, I think that they've responded to the clarity and presence that you bring and that power. And so I just want to encourage you to stay rooted and think about how the rebound works. Can we thank Young Lou, everybody? Do you need to just sit for 1 minute? Okay, sit for 1 minute only, okay? Jacob, come on up. Spidey, I'm teasing you. Come on up. Yes. Yeah, take a little water break. I'll give you, we'll give you a little bit more time off. It's a fascinating thing when each person with their unique abilities, unique person, countenance stands in front of an ensemble and how the ensemble changes. And for all of you who are out in the audience, you're probably hearing that with even greater clarity than we can up here. It's a really powerful thing. Okay, enough resting. Here we go. Lest you think you're done with your work.
It's Mendelssohn.
Woo! It's a good day when we get to spend time with Mendelssohn.
Bitte mich Gott, und führe meine Sache wieder das unheilige Denn du bist der Gott, meine Stärke, warum begrüßest du mich? Warum lässt du mich so leiden, wenn mein Leid sende mein Segen. Dass ich hineingehe zum Altar Gottes zu dem Gott. Dass ich hineingehe zum Altar Gottes zu dem Gott. Denn meine Freude und Wohle liegt. Denn meine Freude und Wohle liegt. Und jetzt Gott auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott. Und jetzt Gott auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott. Dir Gott auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott. Dir Gott auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott. Was erfüllt sich meine Seele, und ich so
you have clear ideas about the score, and then you decided to do some like departuring. I think that takes great courage, and so I'm so glad, and we'll work on some of those things, right? But before we do, let's hear from the ensemble a couple of things. Any thoughts for Jacob? And you can call people.
I like how you're in this list. You already really idea of how you want the shifting and flow of the song.
I really liked when we go together at 66, your gestures were really clear, and I feel like the consonants were really clear and well applied. I feel like that has been done before, but that was the best consonants I've ever sung.
Yeah, one more, please.
Just overall, in this piece, I feel like the presence just really improves. It's just very cool.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, where do you want to go and have a try two?
66. I got 66.
Okay, good. So we're not going to tell you anything about Jacob's interpretation because this is a gestural masterclass, okay? But let's start wherever you would like to, whatever you think would make sense. And what I would suggest is if you want to slow the thing down, which I anticipate you do, precede the subdivision with a bigger one. So that's the first clue to them that the temporal landscape is changing, right? But if we go right into the frenetic subdivision, like if we're going super fast and we do that, then it becomes, right? So if you can make the thing bigger, they'll go, oh, okay, and then subdivide. So wherever, don't tell us where you want to slow down, just show it, okay? Where do you want to start, Jacob? Okay. Can we actually start at 52? Can we go from 52? And here's your assignment. From 52 to 65, can you get the tempo into the groove that you're looking for from 52 to 65? Just really set the groove so that when we get to the slowdown or wherever it happens, it's super clear. Okay?
Can we start 53 iterations? I'll just wait for 57.
Und dir Gott auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott. Und dir Gott auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott. Dir Gott, danke mein Gott. Dir Gott auf der Harfe, danke mein Gott.
Okay, now let's workshop it. Where do you want to slow down to begin?
Not there.
Not well. Where do you want it to begin? Oh, whoa! Okay, don't subdivide there. Let's wait until we get, I would say subdivide right there. There's also all this rhythmic complexity that often goes not in 63, 64, 65, lest we believe it is a straightforward 3/8. Don't be confused. Mendelssohn is giving a little homage to Bach there. So just be mindful of that. It's a place where rhythmically we can feel the thing get a little unstable, okay? I think it's good to just be absolutely crystalline clear with that. And then when we get to this, make the one bigger. So we're gonna go to 66. So no, we're getting bigger. To slow down the one, ti, tom, pi, ta. I'd subdivide later in the thing, maybe 70, 71. And last, musicians, here's my thought on the subdivision. Subdivide as a last resort. We often can get in the way, and it is definitely a signal to the ensemble, whoa, something is changing. But the organic sort of approach, if you can make the one bigger, I think you might find more success. Let's try that, okay? What if we start right at the pick up into 66? Piano does not mean slower, right? Okay, good. Right there. Make it bigger here. Okay. Any idea what happened? Okay, well it could have been bigger. when we subdivide, make sure that the subdivision is where they are, then you slow it down. But if we're in a 1 and then we automatically go into a subdivision that's slower, it's not gradual. So we're missing the information between. Okay, does that make sense? One more try. This is where we make our money, right? Remember, it's the C's that, where do we make our money? C's. Woo! Okay, good. Let's do it again. Good for you. I love seeing the risk taker in you. I love it. It's fantastic. I think we're definitely getting there. I'd like you to subdivide even later. Like, let's just be crazy here. And let's save this subdivision for this bar, possibly that one if the spirit moves you. Okay? Okay? Try it. Different. Anyone? Good, yeah, a little more gradual. Yeah, one more. Yeah, it really is the economy of gesture. Right, so we want to economize. Less is more here. Where's another spot that you want to play with time? There are a couple of them. We could choose many, but where's another spot? Because I feel like that was a big. Benjamin's everybody. I feel like that was a good shift. Oh yeah. This felt so. Musicians. This is the F major. So we start in D minor in this. We move to F major. Then I'm wondering how much of a different tempo how much of a tempo change you want between these two? Because it appeared to me that this was quite a bit slower than what you wanted there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind making it pretty dramatic. Letting 21 be quite slow and then settling into another quick 2 and 22.
Okay, so let's see if we can make the transition. Musicians, this is the final cadence before we go to the F major. The last, we're gonna hold our 20, work the transition to 21. Do you all get that? Say capito. Say capito. All right, that means you understand. Very good. Okay, so we'll start right there at that fermata and then go. Yeah, let's do it again. Yeah, you want to think about how much is it gratuitous? When do we, is it bon goût? Is it in good taste? Or is it gratuitous? It might be, you're really feeling your feels right here in this moment, but it might be too much of a departure, right? So let's see if you can bridge between the two. The other thing, when you're changing from the 2 to 4, I think I would take a little bit more time so that the soprano and alto, this is at the apex of the move. For me, if I'm going to change meters, one thing that I'll do is I'll linger above the plane just a little bit longer so that they really know that next tempo is coming. So 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense? Okay, don't be too eager to get to that next downbeat, okay? The other thing that I would say, is this a linear idea or is it a vertical idea? Mostly vertical. So we need to sympathetically announce that in the gesture. So instead of it being, I think instead we need to feel that sort of pull, and I'm missing that sense. When we get into the shoe, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think less here, more there. Okay, cool, okay. We believe King David wrote this, and King David had a pretty interesting life with lots of problems, right? Very human person, but also someone with a really contrite spirit. And if you can imagine, we don't know when he wrote this, we have no idea, but we do know that his life was rife with scandal and problems. He messed up a lot, right? And so if you can think about the roller coaster of emotion that might have gone along with that, also the feeling of being alone as the king, right? That we have to feel those extremes. And I don't know, this is a prayer, this is a supplication, like, help me God. I don't know that we ever really truly feel free in it, right? So there always has to be that undergirding of struggle. And so I think that manifests in the resistance of this. Can we go to the beginning, the first page? Sometimes, so first of all, I love that you're thinking syllabic and prosaic stress. I can see it in the gesture. Syllabic stress, which syllable gets the emphasis, right? Prosaic stress is the stress in the line. Sometimes there's too much same in terms of the amount of stress that we show. I'd love for you to think long game. So if you look at that first gesture, you speak it for me and for us, and choose one aspect as the prosaic apex, the peak.
Okay. For the first 5 hours.
Yeah, that's fine.
Richte mich Gott und führe meine Sache wieder das Unheilige.
What did you hear is the most important word? Yeah, I totally agree. So let's make sure that that stands as distinct in the gesture. Okay, cool, try it.
Richte mich Gott und führe meine Sache wieder das Unheil.
Good. Sometimes, I think this is manifest, when we have an important word, there's sort of an equal treatment that I see. I thought you did a beautiful job there. I thought you exactly executed the assignment. So good, okay? So, but in long game, with each of these lines, let's make sure that every syllable doesn't get the same emphasis, right? That there's always something that we're driving to and that you know where that is. This has to do with the rebound and has to do with how much vertical space we have in the gesture and how freely the rebound happens, right? Like that, or so really strive for more development this way. Okay, does that make sense? Cool, what's our time? 2 Minuten, danke, okay. All right, anything else that you want to do for 1 minute? Okay, what do you want to do? Oh yeah. Of course, please, yes.
Richte mich Gott und führe meine Sache wieder das Unheilige.
Do it again, stand your kids.
Richte mich Gott und führe meine Sache wieder das Unheilige.
It was so good. you have such a mind, and I know that you have clear ideas about music. Stay rooted. Conductors, when we're working on isolating that part of the gesture, it helps to put a tiny piece of lumber under the heels so that you're not quite stable. You can also work with a balance board, but this is one way to sort of self-monitor the proclivity for let's go, right? Which is all that I love that about you, Anna. We need this to be heavy. We need it to be, I am in the pit and I need help, right? That there's a gravity to it. There's gravity to you sitting down and taking a 5-minute break. Can we give it up for Jacob? Do this, all of those nonverbals, you know, not 94% of communication is nonverbal, and we all have lived this throughout our lives so that we understand things. So it's a really powerful thing. We're gonna take just like a 5-minute break for the voices. I'm more than happy, if anybody has any questions about some of the things that we did, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. But we'll take just 5 right now and then come right back with a little balm for the soul. We go from the depths of despair, the trial and the strife of being a king who's murdered people and other such nonsense, and to experiencing a beautiful summer night. Thank you so much. 5 minutes. How are we doing, everybody?
Oh, yeah. That's what he said. But I get for at least you get this.
All right, we're getting started again, but we'd like to introduce our wonderful collaborative pianist today. It's everything. So let's give her a
Welcome, Leah, to the podium.
My name is Leah Wyman, and I will be conducting Shore on the Shining Night by Morton Morrison.
Recover Too Big Too Soon, and I thought you did a really masterful job of just keeping that in a really intimate space. Bravo. Okay, let's hear from the choir. Go ahead, choir. Any feedback? Yeah.
Really like the flow of the music. It's very legato, so I'm contrasting it against it, and that really helps us keep with that, so getting caught up with it.
Yeah, good. What else?
I felt like the scene very solid in this piece, you knew it very well, and then that was communicated to us. It never felt like the gestures were very unclear, and that was all.
Yeah, one more. Anyone?
Similar way, we're just very grounded when you do that, and it keeps us engaged.
Yeah, great, great. Okay, so we've talked about some of the challenges of this, how much time to take, and I thought that you were quite clear with some of your releases in terms of those elisions. That was really lovely. Can we go to, when we think formally, we have the opening gesture from the tenors and basses releasing that melodic material. The second iteration presented by soprano and alto with the tenor and bass adding some enhancement. We're going to start at the next tenor bass entrance. I think this is 25, 26.
Yes.
How is this different from Shore on the Shining Night?
Slightly more generous.
Good, more generous.
And it's also, it speaks more to, like a personal connection. I
Okay.
feel like, whereas the beginning is sort of like setting tone, and this also starts to bring in more imagery towards like fields and things like that sort of resonate, help and holds the earth and hearts.
Good.
All of these words that have this intimate, deep, personal connection.
It's a very evocative language, isn't it? And so I like this idea of generous. As musicians, as artists, as interpreters, we take the abstract and make it tangible with musical tools. Okay, so what does generous mean? How does that manifest musically? What are some things that we can do that are tangible changes that evidence that?
So I think that we could probably get a little bit more clearly on the breath.
Okay, more on the breath. Okay.
And just, I mean, a hair more line.
Okay, good. I agree. I approve of that. Yes. Any other ways?
Maybe just some more sustain.
More sustain. How about the tempo? Is the tempo exactly the same, or does it move forward, or does it slow down?
I think that the tempo moves, it moves a little bit here, and then I think through the ends, like, like within even a bar.
Good. There's a great plasticity of time. So I license you to exploit the plasticity of the idea. I think have a little more fun with maybe we know Lordson has asked for us to slow down a lot. And I mean a lot of different sort of manifestations, many times. It doesn't say as much con molto, but I think we have a license to do that. So I'd love for you to differentiate this landscape from the right? And the other thing, tessitura, right? This is, hey tenor, hey, right? This is a time for the tenors to sing out and for the bass baritones, right? D flats are money for bass baritones. Can we start at C at the a tempo? And I'd love to see you just take some risks, be willing for it to not align, and just be a little bit more effusive with time, okay? Why don't you prepare that breath?
Right there?
When
did I choose to at the 8th?
No! You did. I'm saying don't do that. Don't do that. Why? Look at that. Yes, hey. So that bar of 4, we got this memorized, right? We have 3, 4, and that's a 4. So it's 1 and 2 and 3, 1 bar for nothing. Now you're looking at them. 2, we're preparing together, and as opposed to that year is real late there, okay? Good, Leah. Okay, do it again, do it differently. Change the time. Become more demonstrative if you want the time to change. All right, so you do have to assert, this is different. You're not asserting it in a listen and obey. It's let's try something new. There's a big distinction. Can we start right at the entrance, please? I would try lowering the music stand so that the gesture doesn't sympathetically become too high, right? Keep the ceiling the same and lower the table and access this part when they're in the higher part of their voices. So we just had a conversation, I don't know your name, but we were just talking about the role of size as it pertains to slow and fast, right? If we want to go faster, we. If we want to go slower, we. Yeah, so in anticipation of that, one thing that is a tool that you can use is if you know you want to slow down and you want the gesture to become bigger, then go in the opposite direction of the next beat on the rebound of the preceding beat. So if I'm looking at the pattern and I'm connecting 1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the opposite direction on my rebound of 2. 1, 2. Did you see if I did that? I went. So that I have more real estate. If I go 1, 2, I have less real estate, but that gives you more breath speed. Does that make sense? And so like 1 is going to go away from 2, so that I have more geography to cover. Yeah. So if I'm in a 3 pattern, the rebound will go this way. 1, 2, 3. If I'm in a 4 pattern, the rebound of 1 is going to go in that opposite direction. I'm really trying to keep it linear. There you go. Yeah, that's just something, when you want to ignite the breath, voices respond to movement. If it's, the breath will get locked, they'll sing so much differently if you feel like there needs to be more breath and give them more real estate. Strings are the same way, right? The bow wants to move along the string. Let's do, how about the bar of 4? Bar of 4? Just experiment. Good, Leah. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, you feel the difference? There's just a little bit more wind. Now, just something to practice. As you do this, try as your modus operandi having the palm to the ground. It doesn't mean that we never open the hands. I think that there are many moments, like if we're coming to the vowel is in your hands, right? So if I conduct this with a very beautiful legato, but I make my hands like this, it will impact your sound, right? Would you sing to me what you see right at right there? Tenors and basses respond to my hand position, and
the lady lies down the north, all is here.
Right? So the shape of your hand does matter. In general, you want your default to be palm to the ground, so that if you need a baton, there's not a huge departure, right? We just put the baton in, and all of those good habits we've established are exactly the same. Here's something else. In rubato, in tempo rubato, if you are anticipating the places to slow down, they can become more impactful if we push the time just a little bit. so that we're slowing down, but we're not actually adding a huge amount of time to the whole, right? So if I go quicker through the first 3 beats, I have more latitude to go a little bit slower, and I really haven't added a bunch of time to the thing. We really get into trouble when everything becomes precious, right? You're not doing that at all, but that's just something that could happen with this piece of music. So why don't we start, and we'll go on from there, Miss Leah. 26, can we do that? Push the tempo a little bit, breath, push the tongue, go to the beat. Nourish. Oh man, talk about a tough spot, right? You were doing beautifully. I love the plasticity of time that you brought and how you changed that. So, musicians in the ensemble, when does our composer give us the crescendo in the score on page 5? Yeah, there's one at 35, no question. How about the bottom system? Yeah, and I think, personally, I would take the liberty of hearts all whole. I would actually pull through that dynamically a little bit, even though it's not written, so that then Shadiva has some kind of impetus, right? Like my heart is exploding there, my heart is whole, right? It's a beautiful moment, and I think you need to preempt that and then almost with a little more energy. Let's also play with fulcrum. So Yamlu and I were talking about the different fulcrum that we access, right? I'd be really intentional about working from the elbow, and then when we get to the 1, 2, 3, when we get to that subdivision, then activating from the shoulder, so that there's sort of a new world that opens up for you. It's like in the Matrix when they take that, they open up from the shoulder. Let's try, where should we start? Yeah. Great choice, okay. Work from the elbow here and then activate the shoulder. So this is always awkward, right? They've never really danced with you before today. They haven't. So what we want to do, what do we come in on? The and of 2. So give them sort of a non-inviting beat prior, which we'll call a dry beat. So it's 1, 1, and they'll feel more confident as opposed to that. It gives them just a little more information. And this is absolutely related to this being a synthetic environment where they don't work with you every day. You're giving them more information. Dry 2 is just, there's no, 4 ingredients of a prep. We're taking away ingredient number 1. We're taking away the departure. It just, there's a soft, okay. Oh, I saw a departure. Just try it again. Oh, you're clicking. Watch, just smooth. Yeah, what? Good for you. Elbow. Activate, breath. I'm totally in your personal space and I did not ask permission. I hope you don't mind. So when we get to choral shining, is it gradual or is it new tempo shining night? Which one is it? Gradual. Okay. So if it's gradual, that means each eighth note gets gradually longer. Is that true? Yes, okay, good. So that means these guys at the beginning can't be so long that we are static, right? We need so that you have more latitude to be extravagant with the final. Is this the apex or is this the apex of the whole work?
This is its
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Lawrence knows exactly what he's doing when he gives the surprise in high A. Right? It's the first time. What was the time? Oh. Great. Okay, let's do it.
right from 38.
Yeah. So good. First of all, anytime we study conducting, it never manifests in the arms the first day. It has to germinate in the mind. And that's the only thing that we need to see today, right? And then when you play in the sandbox and you live with the ideas, then they come to fruition in the arms. So just know that that's all normal part of the process. When you get to some of these rebounds, remember all these 4 ingredients, 1, 2, 3, 4, they get a lot of information from when you change direction and change speed. So if you arrive way too early at the apex and you descend too early, it's harder for them to judge where to, yeah. So I'll try and, if we're going like that, when we get to a forcing dynamic, our desire is for the thing to grow, but make sure that there's appropriate resistance on the up, so that when you turn the idea and descend, it's unfettered and absolutely clear. Okay, thanks, Leah. Generosity as you open this, and they're singing about kindness. There was great kindness in your countenance, and I thought just a choir that was really well matched to this. Beautiful. Good. Feedback, musicians.
I really like your facial expressions and it's weird, specifically your eyebrows. It makes sense why, and so you follow it.
Yeah. Okay, your superpower. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to question, as you are the people who will be most honest in terms of receiving all of us as guest people in your lives, that what was it about what Cody did that made you feel with, right? That idea of with, that's a great thought. Yeah.
I really liked that you slowed down certain sections, I guess, more than we were used to, because I feel like it feels better. I especially like at 60, when we go choral on this, you really like felt that phrase. That was really nice.
Yeah, really beautiful. I actually want to work backward. Can we go to the end of this portion? And if it's okay with you, Cody, this is going to go a little bit beyond the portion that I told you 1 through 44, but it's just the stuff right after this. This is 44 at the ensemble. How is this? We just finished that big apex, right? We just finished that grand double forte. How do you interpret this moment in the life of the work?
I think that is a good point. That Lawrence has delved into that introspection after I've been in the night, and now in this quietness, I'm shaking to my core. I need the one.
Great. I totally agree. I think it's beautifully said. When we get to these sorts of moments, I think this is a place, I talked with Leah about hand position. I think this is a place where we could say it's absolutely legal to do, yeah, because this is like self-reflection, right? So what if we, how fun would it be to go from the pickup into 44? Sopranos, you excited about that? Wherever you are? Yeah, I'm so glad you get to do it again. So, because I would like for you to juxtapose the two ideas of the poet and the composer opening themselves this way, and then how is it different? And how much can you play with the sound here, okay? You can start, if you would like, to build into that. If you want to start into D, that's better. That might be more humane. Yeah, 38, great. Yeah, great. That's all right. So let's take what we learned from the last. Well, yes! Yes! This will be just the dry. So this is on the downbeat. We're going to do a dry 4 and ba-ti. And it's almost like that 4 is out of time, right? Yes, that's right. It'll just help them with greater clarity. It really makes it uber obvious to them that you're going to fall into one. Whoops, there was a departure ictus. Remember, number 1, we can't have click, click, because then it's a double prep. We need 0 click, liquidity, and click, right? Okay? The concept of the prep is absolutely perfect. Just make it more demonstrative. You're at a mezzo forte leading into double forte. I would say even arguably a little bit louder, okay?
Sun is shining.
Do it again, do it again.
Sun is shining.
Okay, just before we go any further, we're going to take something we learned with Jacob. And this is the gesture needs to get bigger before we subdivide. So we need sure on this tower. Okay, so just more on 2, just more size. Be generous. Don't hold back.
Sun is shining. Sun is shining.
Okay, I gotta stop you. We're not even to the thing that I asked about. Are you convinced that Lords and Monsters make diminuendos in this section? They're diminuendoing in bar 40, and they're also really diminuendoing. Is that what you envision? So sempre forte. Okay, if they do that again, they're tired. Get after them with a gesture, right? So that's when you say, okay, team, I got you, right? I got you. The energy, they need energy, they need an infusion right there. And so if you see that they're abating, don't let them abate, right? Be insistent. So I think, breath. I think lots of line here, right? So use this space. Okay, try it one more time.
Sun is shining.
Wind speed, Cody, wind speed. Use the light, use the light. There you go, there you go, Good. Keep it going, keep it going.
Sun is shining.
Cody, yeah, good, okay. Yeah. As soon as your wind speed slows down, their dynamic changes. Okay, so make sure it aligns with your musical imagination. I'm not so sure. Sopranos, where does that expire for you in terms of dynamic? What do you think? Cody, what do you think of 42? Where's the apex of 42? Be really specific. Give me the end, like 1, or the end of 2, or the end of 3, or the end of 4. Oh, conduct them through that then. Okay, cool. Get them through to that moment. Okay, this is when we want to use breath speed. I've talked about this. Ooh. So, yeah. Okay. Your turn, Cody. I'll stop using speedball. Okay. So respond to what you hear. here in the moment. If they let off of the gas, inspire more, okay?
Sure is shining light, sure is
More speed, find more space.
sure is shining.
Yeah, beautifully turned. You really turned that idea with great elegance. Are you convinced about the dynamic landscape of the peak of this? Are you convinced about what happened? Did it align with what you would hope to communicate?
No.
Okay, good. I agree with that.
People get a kind of softer,
Yeah, good. I'm glad that you're hearing that. I spoke about this, I think, with Leah, and it's this idea of, in anticipation of the dynamic demand, your rebound is going to go in the opposite direction of the next beat so that you have more space. So if you're in a 4 pattern, let me see, I would never remember to be reversed. So it's 1, 2. So I think utilizing more of this space. If we live too much here, then we'll lose the beautiful sound that you so naturally, I love how you cultivate the sound here. I think it's really firmly rooted in breath space. So that's really strong. We don't want to take away from that. But I do think there needs to be unleashing of sound here. And I have a feeling you will never be too gratuitous. I feel like you're very much in a reasonable space. I don't think it's too much. Can we go, how are we doing on time? 4 minutes. Okay, what can we do in 4 minutes? Let's go, okay, let's go to page 3. Please, musicians, bend your knees, musicians, in fancy outfits. Okay? I am wondering if we can bring alignment into the turn from 23 to 24. That was one that I think we could use a little more clarity on. So can we start at the downbeat of 22? And then we're really striving for alignment into C, okay? Yeah, who has the main melodic material here? Oh, bless their hearts, the altos only get these moments in the sun. This is their glory. Let their glory shine right here about the altos. So you really invite the altos here. Okay, let's try it. Good job. You did it. That was amazing. Fantastic. Let's go to another illusion. Remember, these C's are where we make our money. Let's go to 10. Right at 10. Can I have an A flat, please? Would you sing this for us right here? Exactly how you envision it to happen. When people model, as you did so beautifully, you modeled with your hand, right? That's all that we want you to do as a conductor. Can you make those shapes clear in the context of the pattern? So you got 3 and 4. The gradation of height or speed or whatever for each beat tells us how important each beat is. Okay, there was a really clear peak that I heard. Let's try to make that clear in the gesture. Okay? Let's start right at 10.
Sure. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111.
Cody. Good, really good. Was that what you had hoped to hear? Yeah, I thought it was really quite lovely. Can we go to the very beginning? These are just little tiny things. And would you focus more on where that breath is created? I felt like it was a little shortchanged here at the beginning. So let's try it. And, oh, look at you. You even gave yourself a... You told us, yeah. It has these like, pay attention to the breath thing more. So then we just need more movement. Movement equals breath. It equals air. Okay. Yeah, I think indirect is a great way to phrase that, right? The more direct things are, the less movement we get. So add some indirect. Just think you've written. Yeah. No, let's start at 5. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you sympathetic, so you have 3 that you breathe, you inhale with them, and then don't mouth the words. Okay? Try it again. So breathing in the whole time, right? You can be anybody. You're the English hero. Okay? Right, one more time. Beautiful. Well done, Cody. Good for you, my friend. Can we acknowledge all of our graduate conductors who have the distinct privilege and joy of hearing this magnificent group. These are the real stars here. Yeah, just want whatever you want. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. It can be thanked. Dr. Swanson, everybody. We're going to do one selection, the Lord's. Yay!
We have time. About a half hour. I ordered from a sandwich place that's right down the street. They might have like a quick pickup kind of situation. I didn't want to come down here. I'm not going to sound good. That was very technical. I screwed up the one time. I did the wrong handheld. going to do anything with the lav. I'm going to go grab a sandwich and come back.
Go ahead.
Sure?
Yep, we're all good.
You want
Thank
food?
you. No. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to plug my phone in.
Good warm up.